This is the Fueled by Coffee podcast, season 2. I'm here with, if you listened to the finale of season 1, you will be familiar with this name. I am sitting here with the legend, the man, the myth himself, Party Cake, from Peapod.
And I just interrupted Matt, and he's going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, now I'm going to start it, or I'm going to stop this and start over. Just kidding. Yeah, here with Party Cake for an episode. This is one that we've been trying to plan out for a couple months now. It finally worked out. We are down in beautiful Germantown, just outside of Philadelphia, or in Philadelphia.
The outskirts of Philadelphia, yeah.
Yeah, Philadelphia is amazing. I love it down here, and this is a very nice little area. Very great view right now.
Fourth floor will do that.
Just chilling out in Party Cake's place. So thank you for having me.
This is my pleasure. Truly, thank you for coming.
Yeah, this is very, very nice. We were just talking for a good few hours about life and dark stuff and fun stuff and happy stuff. So now...
the highs, the lows.
Everything in between. So now we're going to get into some more fun things. Some things that aren't as dark and depressing as what we have previously been talking about. Party Cake worked with me at Peapod. Again, if you did not listen to the season 1 finale, I highly recommend you go check it out. There's 3 parts, and they're all worth listening to. Part 1 is the characters and the people we worked with. Part 2 is just kind of like what we did in the break room and, you know, all sorts of fun stuff there. And then part 3 is more just like wrapping up loose ends. We talk about music a little bit, and we go through like a speed round of terms and people and things.
And if it wasn't for the music, most of us would have killed ourselves.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I went dark again, didn't I?
That was a little dark.
Well, I mean, it's all fun.
Death is fun. No. So Party Cake is now, and that's the thing, his name is actually Zach, but I still call him Party Cake to this day. We have not worked together in a long time.
Sometime?
Yeah, we both went to the same warehouse, which will remain unnamed because I don't want to throw any shade. But
I mean, definitely worth throwing some shade, though. They are garbage.
They are. It was a very terrible workplace. But we both went to the same warehouse job after Peapod. Both are no longer there. And
for obvious reasons.
That was the last time we worked together, although the bulk of our experience was at Peapod. Now, Party Cake works for Wawa, which I am a huge whore for.
Hard not to be. I even have a cup right in front of me.
He's sitting here with some sort of red drink from Wawa.
Strawberry Fanta. It's the shit,
There
man.
you go. As always, though, on Fueled by Coffee podcast, we like to have different types of coffee on every episode. Party Cake is a coffee connoisseur, as am I. So he has been caffeinating me all afternoon. So
heavily.
What are we drinking? Well, actually, I should start. What did we drink when I first got here? And what are we currently drinking at this moment in time?
Well, both are the same blends, really. I got this Death Wish coffee. It's called Valhalla Java.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guitarist from Black Label Society, Zach Wild's particular brand of Death Wish coffee.
Okay.
But it's what I first heavily fed you when you first got here was the hot version with my French press.
Okay.
And then yesterday I made some cold brew of this stuff, and that's what we are currently enjoying.
Right. And it's amazing. Death Wish is amazing. They have an extremely high dosage of caffeine in their coffee.
And somehow I haven't had a heart attack yet,
Yeah.
so I'd say it's good.
Hey, man, that's great. I'm glad you're still with me. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here doing this by myself.
In my apartment, while I lay dead on the floor. In fact, I'm shocked you wouldn't have called 911.
Yeah.
A little offended.
Your girlfriend's going to come home and see me running from microphone to microphone and wonder, what are you still doing here, and why is Zach dead on the floor?
And have the cats been fed?
It's the Death Wish. I ate the cats. No.
No. Not little Ashy boy. No.
Yeah. I feel like this is almost a battle of the coffees right now, because Mike, on the episodes I did with him, he has a very expensive coffee maker.
I did remember hearing that.
And whatever it was that he brewed me, because I guess he roasts his own beans, whatever he made
fancy.
me was so good, and this is so good. So I feel like this is probably for the podcast. This is going to be peak coffee. You know,
It's only downhill from here.
I guarantee. You know, because I've had Dunkin', which I don't prefer. I've had out of my Keurig, which it gets the job done. But in terms of like good tasting, fancy, delicious coffee, this and whatever Mike made me was easily the peak.
You gotta hold your pinky out.
I'm holding right now as we speak. I'm holding my pinky out.
Fancy. You gotta.
It's a very smooth flavor. It's a very
delightfully clean.
So, as I said, Party Cake works for Wawa, and he seems to enjoy it. From what I've heard,
there are days.
Yeah, it
Definitely
seems
days.
It's a more enjoyable job than Peapod, is it not?
Yes, absolutely. In the regards that I'm very much a social person, so I like to talk to people. However, I will also say, in the current store that I work at here in Philadelphia, there's definitely some people that I'd rather just not have to have the displeasure of conversation with.
Right. And that's one of the benefits, I guess, to where I work, because I work overnight in a bakery in a store that is closed from midnight to 6 a.m. And even when they open at 6, you know, and I'm still finishing up my shift, I barely see anyone. It's beautiful. I'm sneaking out the door while the rush is coming in to shop.
See, that's so nice. Because, like, especially like when I came to working on Christmas, there was a lot of people that came through, and we never had time to catch our breath. We were the only place that was open because we're 24/7.
Yeah.
Holidays,
God
whatever.
bless Wawa.
Yeah, you say that, but you never say God bless the employees of Wawa, now do you?
God bless the employees of Wawa.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But it's crazy, especially here in Philadelphia, because everybody wants that Wawa John.
I mean, Wawa is like, that is Philadelphia.
It literally embodies the spirit of Philadelphia.
They are one and the same.
Entirely. I mean, how else would you survive here in Philadelphia if you're not drunk coming in at 2 a.m. getting a quesadilla or some shit like that? Like, how else would you survive?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's funny you mentioned quesadillas from Wawa, because that's a good segue into my love for Wawa. I can be found numerous times throughout the month or even the week going to Wawa. I would say 90 to 95% of the time it's just for coffee. Because in all honesty, like, Death Wish is great. Whatever Mike made me was great. Wawa is my favorite coffee.
Hard for it not to be.
And
You tried that new stuff yet?
What new stuff?
They got 2 new blends out, man.
Is it like one of the, like, I know that they always have like a little jug of that, like, it's like some sort of African blend.
Yes, there's a reserve, a couple new reserve ones. There's like a Sumatra one and a Guatemala one.
Haven't had either.
Hit them both up. They are banging. I tried them yesterday.
Will do. Any recommendations on how to drink them? Are there any creamers that go well with them, or
hazelnut? Always got to go with that.
I always go hazelnut too, unless the only one that I will do French vanilla with is like the gingerbread Christmas blend.
I never tried that stuff.
I do enjoy the Christmas blend once in a while. Once a year. You know, it's funny, when last year they didn't have it.
Really?
I couldn't find it anywhere. And then this year I was going to hang out with someone, and I was taking us both coffee. I stopped on the way. And I walked in, and I was just going to go with the old regular with hazelnut creamer, maybe Colombian if I was feeling a little frisky in my coffee
spicy
life. And I happened to notice they had the holiday blend with the gingerbread. And I squealed like a little girl in front of some middle-aged man who looked very
picture that.
Very confused. I mean, it wasn't so much a squeal. It was more just like, oh, no way. And he looks at me like
quickly sidestepped and
I was like,
got out of your way.
They have the Christmas blend. Like, holy shit. But yeah, no, it's good. I would say a couple times a year with the French vanilla creamer. I'd say hazelnut would probably be good though, because, you know, nuts are
so great in your mouth. Is that what you're gonna say?
I love when people dip their nuts in my coffee. But no, it's, you know, Wawa coffee is just my favorite. It's like a nostalgic taste almost, you know, because I think about, I started coffee with diner coffee, which we all know is like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I was about to say, but there's only up from there, which is the opposite of how things are going to be on the podcast with coffee, because it's all, as we know, down from here.
Well, you know what? By this point, we may not have had Wawa yet.
Ooh.
There's been no Wawa coffee on the podcast yet. So it may be like if you're looking at a line graph, there's like a decline and then there's a slight like plateau, but then it's just going to go down from there.
Yeah, which is true.
But
hey, at least then you can get that Wawa experience.
The Wawa, and that is the great thing about Wawa, is it's an experience every time you go there. I mean, from the moment I pull into the moment I almost die pulling into the parking lot, because let's be real, Wawa parking lots are one of the most dangerous places in the world, next to Walmart parking lots.
I think they're tied, in all honesty. Easily.
I've almost died in both of them.
Same here.
You know, from the moment you have that experience, that near death, that adrenaline rush as you pull into a parking lot, you walk in the door and you smell the aroma of the sandwiches and you see all of the food and you have a split second where you think about what a gluttonous slob you are.
Before shouting, of course, "Go Birds!"
Yeah,
because
I mean, it's Philadelphia.
You hold the door open for somebody and you just immediately just look at them dead in the eyes and just "Go Birds!"
A bald eagle pops out of the collar of my shirt and kisses people as I walk into Wawa.
I believe that. I've seen it, actually, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's actually, it's right now. It's kissing party cake.
I'm staring at it. I've seen many things in my life, but this is exceptional. Oh, he's also friendly.
Okay, yeah, there's a cat here, and I'm about to pet him.
He's just shy.
And he likes it.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay.
He's a very good judge of character. He likes it.
He
also likes chomping cords, so keep an eye on him.
Gotcha. But you have that experience of walking into Wawa. You smell the food. You see the food. Excuse me, bud.
Is he doing a chomp?
He looks like he wants to do a chomp. And you have a split second where you think about what a disgusting human you are and how much food you're going to consume there. And then you pinpoint. If you haven't already pinpointed, because maybe if you said you're trashed at 2 a.m., you may be thinking about what you want already. You may be fixated
while you're swaying side to side in front of the screen, almost falling, planning on it.
Yeah. And you make that decision of, do I want a hoagie? Do I want one of these wraps? Do I want a sizzly if they still have them out? And
they can always just make them for you.
Really?
Yeah. Just ask.
Oh, you can order those, can't you?
Yeah, you just go up to anybody and
I've never ordered breakfast from Wawa. I usually just go in when they have it in the warmers and I just take it.
I never am awake before 11 for the most part, or at least get there in time to really get them. But yeah, I mean, if I am, the Sizzlies are banging. Pork roll, man.
I had one, so you would probably know better than I had one the other day. Well, it wasn't a sizzly. It was just one of the bagel sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Do they use brioche bagels?
No,
because the bread was very shiny.
I mean, it was probably a plain one, to be honest.
It was just so shiny. I couldn't, and it wasn't like it was greasy or buttery or anything. So the only thing I could have imagined it being was brioche. But I'm probably wrong then.
Yeah, I don't exactly know entirely what they make those plain bagels are, but out of all of them, they're probably my favorite. Mainly just because fuck cinnamon raisin.
Hey. Cinnamon raisin's tight.
I mean,
you don't have to like cinnamon raisin. It's okay.
I'm just saying I haven't had one that I've enjoyed. Maybe Panera.
Okay. I haven't had a Panera bagel.
Cinnamon toast bagels.
Okay.
Or French toast, I guess they are.
What about blueberry bagels?
Banging.
Okay, good.
Banging.
Those are my favorites. But yeah, you go into Wawa, and usually for me, I have coffee on my mind right away. Go and get a nice 24-ounce cup of coffee.
Hey, same.
No matter what time of day it is, it could be 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 5 p.m., 2 a.m.,
We're always there, just not always smiling.
Yeah. And usually I'm in the mood for a sandwich of some sort. But most recently, I got a little exploratory in my Wawa life.
Ooh.
I went to a wedding last weekend, and they had a breakfast buffet. It was very well done, like in some sort of egg and vegetable casserole, had caramelized onions in it, and
frittata.
Yeah, there's a fruit salad. They had a donut wall, so I was basically just eating carbs and sugar all day, aside from this little square of egg frittata that I took. And so I left that wedding just crashing off of it, like a sugar and carb high. I was dying. I drove to New Jersey, which was about 35 minutes away, to see my friend at his car wash.
Right.
And when we went back to his place, he lives right down the street from the 25th Street Wawa in Easton. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, I have to go get something to eat. Like, my head hurts. I'm tired. I'm dying. So I went down and I ordered. Now, you know, when you're
hungry. You opened the door and we just opened our arms and accepted you in our loving Wawa embrace.
And then the next thing I knew, I was waking up in the back and I was a part of the Wawa cult and I was an employee and I didn't know how I got there.
There's a hat glued onto your head, I heard. There was a goose shoved in your shirt somehow.
Yeah, not a bald eagle, a goose.
They took his eagle and replaced it with a Wawa Canadian goose.
They put a beard net on me, and
those are the worst.
I ordered a salad because I was like, ooh, a salad would be really tight right now. And then I thought about a hoagie, but I just had a Wawa hoagie at some point prior to this. So I got a little, as I said, exploratory, and I ordered a burrito.
Those are banging. I had one last night.
Okay, but I did it wrong.
Ooh, what'd you do?
Okay, so
what happened?
It was,
Tell Papa Zach.
I don't I don't drink, I don't smoke any sort of, nicotine or cannabis or anything like that.
He says as I take a puff of my nicotine.
Yeah. No, I'm sober 24/7, but this was definitely a questionable decision that someone who was stoned would have made.
That's most of the employees of Wawa.
And because at this point I am an employee at Wawa.
Yeah.
I'm in the cult trying to figure out how to get out.
They even handed you like a joint too. They're like, here, man, this is for your break.
So I was like, okay, a burrito. And then I realized, like, you can't do chicken, which I was like, okay, I normally just stick to chicken.
Same.
But I took the beef, got beans and cheese, or beans and rice. You have to get beans and rice. Got cheese. But I didn't pick, there was like a queso sauce or something like that.
Yes.
I didn't get that. I got like pepper jack cheese or something.
So what I do is I'll get pepper jack.
Okay.
And when they add, if you want any extras, man, they're like, do you want an extra cheese sauce? Which, of course, you fucking do.
Which I said no.
Oh, you fool. It's only 25 cents.
And the other thing I did wrong, so there is what's the sauce they put on it? Is it like pico de gallo or something like that?
The salsa is, pico de gallo.
Or there's some sort of other sauce. Maybe it's like a chipotle. Something.
Probably. I always put sriracha on mine, so.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. I like sriracha. But instead, I was like, ooh, honey mustard would be good on this burrito.
No, you didn't. Oh, no.
So I got honey mustard on my burrito. And, I got back to John's house and I sat down and ate my salad first. It was a very interesting experience with his sister and her very strange friend, which I will say
did you, fuck them with the salad or something?
Okay, well, here's the thing. So I was tripping from the joint from Wawa. And so they were in the salad.
Oh, shit.
No.
Did you toss their salads?
It was just a very interesting. John's sister is fine. It's just her friend was very strange.
Is she fine or is she fine?
She's a normal human. I mean, John, they have like their little sibling rivalry, but her friend is just very strange. She was talking about how eggs make her fart nonstop, and I was very unappetizing to be trying to eat.
Here I thought you were just going to say turned on.
Well, now we all know I have a fart fetish, but no.
Secret's out. You heard it here first.
She was talking about like her boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend, I should say, and how that Dick Savage and just like, what the fuck. So then we went downstairs. I ate my salad upstairs, and John and I go down in the basement, and I unwrap this monstrosity of a burrito.
You want to wrap John?
I do. If you were here right now, you'd be playing along to that. But no, I unwrapped the burrito first, then I unwrapped John. Then I smothered the burrito on him. But I take a bite of this burrito, and I'm like, yeah. And then the second bite, I'm like, this is questionable. And then the third bite, I'm like, oh, bud, this was a mistake. Why did you do that? Why did you put... And I'm trying to figure out what's the off flavor that's in it. Because I'm like, if there's meat, there's beans, there's rice, there's cheese, there's the pico de gallo, there's lettuce. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's honey mustard.
Yep. If there's one thing I've learned about my coworkers, like, I'm the only one who goes, like, reasonable on the sauce. I swear. Because some people... Like, the way it works behind the deli is somebody starts off the sandwich, somebody finishes it, somebody wraps it if we're really busy. But I've learned if I'm not starting these things, they are sloppy and disgusting. And that's why I always strive to be that person on first. I don't want somebody to come over there and be like, hey man, it looks like somebody came in my burrito.
It looks like someone had diarrhea in my burrito.
No, but it's like I've received some sandwiches that I like have to cut then, and like they're just so soggy and sloppy from all the sauce. Yeah. It's disgusting, honestly. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's depressing, quite frankly. How people can just literally just overdose on sauce. It's bad.
And I wouldn't say it was overdosed, but it was just the flavors did not mesh well.
Well, I just imagine whoever made your burrito just standing there, be like, all right, we put all the stuff in, the honey mustard goes in now, and just like, sitting there, and half the container's gone and in your burrito.
So that was a questionable decision. I still love Wawa. I will always love Wawa. I may get Wawa later tonight, but
DoorDash, man.
It was the perks of living in Philadelphia.
Speaking of, there's like 220 restaurants around here that I can get DoorDash from.
Wow.
It is insane.
Philadelphia is an amazing place. And we were just talking about it for like an hour, just about how cultured it is and how much shit there is to do and how many people, how many like-minded and like interested people there are here that, you know, it's just such a really cool place. And I would assume any, you know, large city is like it, but Philly just has this homey feel to it.
It's a city of brotherly love.
Yeah.
If you believe that shit, that is.
Yeah.
I've seen people ignoring homeless people all the time, so I don't know how much truth there is to that, but still, either way, it's definitely got a very homey vibe to it.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah. Wow, we just ranted about Wawa for a very long time. So I guess I should get to the question that I've been trying to throw in this conversation.
Words are hard, so I get it.
Yes, words are hard. So, Party Cake, you utilize Spotify. You are a big music fan, as am I.
Love music.
One of the things we have bonded over at work. And
that's pretty much how we became friends, right? Like right from the start, really.
Music and video games.
For sure.
So, who are the top 3 artists that you've been listening to on Spotify or like in your Spotify rotation right now?
I would say just like currently, I've really fallen in love with this band called A Great Big Pile of Leaves. I'd say they're probably on my heaviest rotation right now.
Okay.
I'll always have a fondness for Incubus, so they're definitely very high up on the list. Probably going to put them on third, though.
Gotcha.
And I've been obsessed with the Front Bottoms as well.
Okay. All great choices. Familiar with the Front Bottoms. Familiar sort of with Incubus. I've heard their old stuff is the best stuff, though.
Yes, most certainly. Crow Left of the Murder, best album, hands down. But yeah, I just recently have been trying to get you into A Great Big Pile of Leaves.
Which you have succeeded. We just listened to them for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. It's like if anyone listening is familiar with like modern day kind of like indie emo stuff. I guess if you're familiar with like the Front Bottoms or the band that I heard being very closely related to them is The World is a Beautiful Place and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die. Very similar sound.
Very long name, too.
Very, very long name. Did you say Great Big Pile of Leaves is from Philly?
Yes, I believe so, at least. So don't quote me on that.
Yeah. The World is from Philly, too. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in time they were playing shows together or on tour together.
Probably. I mean,
it's just a very similar sound, you know?
For sure. I still very much want to see a Great Big Pile of Leaves show.
Yeah. Are they like a more recent, like they're still together?
I don't know if they're still together. I think their latest album is from like, I think 2013.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So I don't know how much they are together still.
They may be defunct.
Maybe. I hope not. Probably though.
Yeah.
Hopes are always dashed.
Research.
Let's be real.
Yeah, one of the musical bonding experiences we had at work, I remember, was the Wonder Years. I think it was when Sister Cities came out.
Yeah, you got me heavily into them. I think I binged that album after you told me to.
I just threw it out there. I was like, hey man, like these guys are like-minded to, you know, from what we've talked about, like you seem very like-minded with them. And their music is they're very musically talented, very good songwriters, very good musicians. And he nonetheless looked up Sister Cities, as he said, binged it. And you've listened to all their other stuff, I'm assuming.
Yes,
right?
yes. In fact, I even have a couple of their albums in my girlfriend's car, of course.
Yeah. What would you say out of all their albums is your favorite?
That's tough. I would have to say, is the album that Cigarettes and Saints are on called Cigarettes and Saints? I can't ever remember.
No Closer to Heaven.
That's right. That's what it is. I would say that's my favorite album, even if I can't remember what it's called.
Gotcha. And there's nothing wrong with that. That happens.
It's always like that one song that sticks with me more so, because that song gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes me tear up a little bit.
Hey, it's okay. The Wonder Years make me cry all the time.
Oh, they're good at that.
They're
fucking bullies.
Yeah. I've seen them 3 times, and I cried every time I saw them.
It's like they come up to me every time, and they want my emotional lunch money.
Yeah.
And I have to give it to them.
Yeah. And it's just crazy to see how they've progressed as a band. Like, the first time I saw them was in 2013. Greatest Generation had just come out, but I had really only been listening to Suburbia.
That's my second favorite album,
of course. And like, I remember right before they played Don't Let Me Cave In, s2e6 had this huge speech about, like, because since they're from Philly, his hairline. No, at that point it hadn't receded as horribly as it is now.
I'll never forget the line receding like my hairline.
Yeah. And he just had this whole speech about, like, because they used to play shows in Bethlehem when they were smaller, and that's where I saw them, was at the Sands in Bethlehem. And he was talking about, like, it's not, everyone talks about wanting to get out, and it's not about where you are, it's about who you are, and blah 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 blah. And I just remember that resonating with 15-year-old me, who thought I knew so much about life. And like,
we've all been there.
Yeah. And just like, I was like, I'm so in tune with my emotions, but like, it definitely did stick with me as like a good life lesson, is like, focus on who you are, not the situation you're in. And I know that's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
The second time I saw them was a year later. They did a Halloween show at the Sands, and No Closer to Heaven wasn't out yet, but I was more in tune with their newer stuff outside of Suburbia and the Upsides. I love the Upsides. They played Devil in My Bloodstream.
That song, man.
I cried. And then it was crazy. They did an encore, and they came out and played I Just Want to Sell at My Funeral.
That song is amazing because, like, it just ties together that whole album. It's like a 7-minute song that literally is just like all their other songs. It just meshed together perfectly.
Comes back around full circle.
It's amazing.
And yeah. And then the third time I saw them was after No Closer to Heaven came out. It was at the Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg. Worst show I've ever been to. Not because
What's that? The acoustics?
No, it was... So
I've heard things about that.
The Sherman Theater is awful because it's on like a slant because it was a theater. So it was really hard to gain your footing when everyone's trying to mosh. We were trying to start a pit, and no one wanted to move. So it was extremely tight, and the room was extremely hot.
Ooh.
Like, I remember I had to walk away. I was dehydrated at one point.
Yes, I heard this story.
Yeah, I hadn't eaten because I was like, before going to shows, I always get really nervous. Even though I know it's going to be a fun time, I get nervous.
Of course.
I didn't eat. I wasn't drinking as much water at the time, but I had drank a little bit of water. We're trying to mosh. I screamed my lungs out to Tiny Moving Parts, who opened for the Wonder Years, and then no one was moving for a pit. So it was literally like a bunch of these big sweaty dudes, including myself, just moshing around in like a 5 foot by 5 foot circle. Not even
Any windmills?
No, it was more so just pushing each other, trying to get everyone to move.
That's a power move.
And I just remember in between songs, I was like, I got to stop. Like, I was about to pass out. I was lightheaded. I was sweating, and I felt sick. So I went to like the middle of the room, and it wasn't as hot. But then their bassist just played like a low note, and it rumbled through my body, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up.
The brown note.
Yeah, it was like
it gave you the brown note.
It was like the reverse brown note, and so I went all the way to
note.
I don't know. Well, what's the opposite of brown? Maybe like white, gray, maybe.
I mean, brown is technically the culmination of like all of the colors.
So I don't know.
We'll just call it the green note because puke green is a color.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I backed up.
It just got you really high.
The green, the green note was, I was about to throw up, and I went all the way back to where the engineer was, and I was like, I got to get out of here. So I walked out. At this point, I had lost my friend. I was with Jack. I lost where he was.
Trampled in the crowd. He was gone.
Yeah, he was just,
somehow necromancers brought him back for an appearance on this podcast, but he was gone from that moment on.
Yeah, he was off in his own little world. traveling through space and time. And I worked my way out to the lobby so that I could get a drink, a $3, $4 bottle of water that was 16 ounces that I drank in 10 seconds.
All I can say is buying beer at a show is worse, because I went to a Queens of the Stone Age concert maybe 3 years ago at this point. Oh, wow. It's been a while. Anyway, I went there, got beer, and it cost me I think $7 each.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
It's just awful. Concert prices are way too expensive.
Ridiculous. Truly.
For anything.
Drugs especially. Just kidding. Those are cheaper.
I went out, and as I'm walking out, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna play a B-side," and then they start playing the Living Room song, one of the B-sides to Suburbia, and they're playing the full band version, and I was like, son of a bitch, this is what I get for not eating. So I hung out for the next 3 to 5 songs of their set in the lobby because I was dying. I went back, I watched the end of the show from where the live sound engineer was by the board. I was going to ask him for the set list, of course. Some other girl came over and took it, because I guess she had probably called dibs on it at the start of the set.
Probably sucked him off for it.
Oh, God. We're getting real dark here.
Sound guy loved it.
Well, now we know everyone. Party Cake was that girl.
All right, you caught me.
But, yeah, Wonder Years, all 3 times, I cried at some point in that show. I actually may have cried at tiny moving parts, but the Wonder Years just have a way of hitting your heartstrings,
They are good at it. Like I said, they are emotional bullies. They want your emotional lunch money, and they want it now.
Yeah.
And by that, I simply mean they want you to fucking cry. They're like, we're gonna hurt you where it hurts.
Every album comes with a box of Kleenex, just so that you're prepared.
Couple tampons too.
Couple boxes of Eagles themed Kleenex, because we all know Soupy loves the birds. They're from Philly. But yeah, music was a big thing. And then the other one I remember us bonding over was I exposed myself to Party Cake. No, oh Jesus! I exposed Party Cake to Alkaline Trio.
I fucking love Alkaline Trio.
And I don't know how or when I drew the connection, but I just said, dude, they're super dark, and you're a super dark person, so you're gonna love them. And I recommended the album Good Morning,
and still my favorite.
And
I actually have a physical copy of that now.
You really?
I got it at Young Ones in Kutztown.
Okay.
Awesome record shop. I feel like we're doing advertisements for different things in this episode.
That's how this podcast always ends up. The one I did with John, he was giving a sales pitch for Weiss.
Why would anyone give a sales? Sorry, John, but why would anybody give the sales pitch for Weiss?
He's like, I have the Weiss card and I get money off my gas. And he's explaining how it works. And I was
Jesus
like, dude, you're literally sales pitching for people to go get the Weiss discount
as he's
card.
Counting some money and just slowly pocketing it outside of.
He's like, oh, this isn't my royalty check. Hold on. But yeah,
a couple more zeros in this.
But yeah, no, music was a huge bonding point.
Huge bondage point.
Oh man, yeah. Well, especially with Alkaline Trio, with how dark and spoopy they are. Matt Skiba, the vampire. And
with throat problems.
Yeah, on that album.
It's hard to drink blood when your throat's all fucked up.
He is, yeah. Well, he just had another surgery last year, apparently.
Did he?
Apparently his throat was all messed up again, and he had to have some other surgery, because he plays with,
Blink-182
yeah,
now.
he plays with Blink-182 now, for those who don't know.
Because Tom DeLonge was too busy finding fucking aliens.
He was fondling aliens.
Fondling them.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of payback for all the times people gotten probed. Tom DeLonge's like, this one's for the kids.
Yeah, Tom was like, you've probed me one too many times, now I'm going to probe you. But
the alien was about it. That's the lesser known part.
Tom is, well, he, it's funny, he got divorced with his wife, and I think the conspiracy is now that he is dating an alien, so.
I mean, I'm inclined to believe that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Here we go. Hard Times News. Please make an article.
I love that site.
Tom DeLonge is now married to an alien. But yeah, Matt Skiba, he had this throat surgery again, and then he had to play a show with Blink a month later, and you could just hear he was not ready to be singing, and
he's like, this hurts.
He's like, I hate you guys for making me join this band and sing about girls instead of death and vampires.
Right. I mean, who doesn't like death and vampires?
Yeah. Alkaline Trio definitely opened me up to those darker perspectives in music. It's just hello, there's a cat here meowing. Let's wrap up this conversation with video games. That was another bonding point of ours.
Oh my God, so heavy.
I can't recall what we bonded over first, but I think we just probably started talking about something like very popular, like Grand Theft Auto.
It was either that or Battlefield, because I know that was
we did play Battlefield a little bit.
Yes, we did. Battlefield 1.
When Battlefield 1 came out, that was fun for a few months. I remember Party Cake was still... most of the time he was stoned.
Oh God, yes.
I would hear him like ripping his bong, and I'd be like, "Oh, dude, come on." Even Todd, I think you and Todd played something together, and he's like, "Yeah, like every few seconds I'd hear like the."
Oh, Bethlehem! Like, yep. What an interesting time that was.
But yeah, I remember playing with Party Cake, and it was on one of the very large maps, and we were in a squad together, and he was giving directions, and I was like the only person trying to win the game. So like we were going and doing stuff together, and our teammates were just off.
Fucking around.
Fucking themselves. And,
yeah.
You know.
He's like, I'm going to kill this guy. Oh, shit, he's got a tank.
Yeah. There's 6 flags we have to capture, and we only have 1, but let's just kill everyone. Like
that was Battlefield.
Yeah. But, yeah, we did play Battlefield. And then, I don't know. I remember you and Rob talking heavily about Soul Calibur.
Which we should definitely play at some point.
Yeah, I've never played it.
It's a great fighter there.
What, out of, like, I guess... comparing it to other fighters like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, what is it most comparable to in terms of mechanics?
I would say Tekken. It's made by the same producer of Tekken.
Okay.
But the way I view it is it's pretty much just Tekken with weapons and shit.
Okay.
Because like each character in that game pretty much just focuses on like a certain weapon and fighting style that they have with that.
Okay.
Like for instance, there's this one dude, Siegfried, who's just got a big fucking sword. Like big fucking sword. Then there's like the samurai dude who fights with a katana.
Wasn't Yoda in one of those games?
Yes, he was in the 4th one.
And you and Rob were talking about how messed up his hitbox was?
Yeah, he was tiny. So like literally you couldn't even hit him with horizontal strikes.
Yeah.
Like he'd just be like right out of them like, haha, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like flipping him off and then fucking him up with the saber.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fucked up. Darth Vader was also in it as well as The Apprentice.
Were those like console exclusives?
They started off as that, but they eventually added them as DLC for the other consoles that didn't have those ones.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm not a huge fan of Street Fighter. If we're talking like I bought
never was my fighter.
Bought the most recent one, and it's not fluid enough. It's very stiff. It's very difficult to
Hadouken.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, I just think Mortal Kombat will always be my favorite fighter because it's just smooth and it's an easy pick up and play.
Mm-hmm.
But Tekken is also fun, too. I just bought Tekken 7 solely because Negan from The Walking Dead is in it.
He's in that?
Yeah, he's a DLC.
Ooh.
And it's funny you're talking about Soul Calibur being, made by the same people that made Tekken, and it focuses more on weapons. He uses his bat in Tekken. So,
well, no, Yoshimitsu. Is he still in Tekken?
I literally have not played it yet.
Okay.
I'm guilty of buying video games and then not playing them.
Because that dude has a fucking sword.
Like, okay. I'm so bad with like buying games that like I want the game.
I bought The Witcher 3 years ago and I've still not played it.
Really?
Yep.
I bought Undertale 2 years ago and I still have not played it.
I've heard that was good though.
I've heard it's phenomenal and that's why I bought it, and then I don't know. Now I want to get it on the Switch, but I'm like, I bought it for the PlayStation, so I feel like that shouldn't go to waste. I
too want to get a Switch. Like, me and the girl obviously talk about it a lot. But damn, are they fucking expensive?
Yeah, I was lucky mine was a gift, so
jealous.
Yeah,
I'm a little jealous.
I was not. Yeah, I was gonna buy one for myself, but then I was gifted it, and yeah, it's definitely best Nintendo system I would say since the GameCube.
The GameCube is alright. Actually, you know what? When I think about Super Smash Bros. Melee, GameCube is great.
Yeah, I'm biased towards the GameCube because I grew up with it. Mario Party, and there's a game called Time Splitters.
It's like, I know about Time Splitters.
Time Splitters was a classic from my childhood. What was the other? Animal Crossing.
Of course. She was just talking about that the other day, how much she misses that game.
It's my favorite video game of all time.
Rightfully so. It's great.
So, yeah, I guess I'm a little biased towards the GameCube because of all those memories and nostalgia that I have.
For me, it's N64 just because, like, I have memories of Harvest Moon.
Okay.
I have memories of the original Super Smash Bros. Man, that was... I just remember having friends over and all of us just kicking each other's asses, and eventually it turned into an actual Super Smash Brothers thing where people were hitting each other with controllers because kids, you know.
Who was your main in Smash?
Link.
As was with most people. Lonk. I think Link was my main as a kid, and then I never had the 64 one until like a couple years ago. On Melee, it was always Link, and then I unlocked Marth.
Oh, yeah,
Marth was my main.
And what about Roy? Roy's our boy.
Roy's pretty good too, but I think
he's not pretty good. He's our boy.
Okay. As I've gotten older, I think I have a greater respect for Kirby.
Well, I mean, he's just some soul-sucking vampire.
Yeah.
Cleverly disguised as just a cute little pink blob.
It's basically Matt Skiba.
Oh, God.
Tying it all together. Matt Skee-Ball.
Oh, Matt 8-Ball.
No.
You don't think he did cocaine?
Oh, no, he definitely did.
Like, yeah, that's why he's Matt 8-Ball.
Yeah. Okay. But also, if you've seen the roster on some of the newer ones, my mains are now Pac-Man.
Oh, he's fucked.
And Little Mac from
I remember the Wii U version, playing it with old stupid stoner friends.
Yeah.
And, man, if I had to pick one from those days, from the newer ones, Greninja, man. He is
really
awesome. Dude, he's so fucking badass. He can turn into a log and teleport and kick somebody in the face.
What?
Yeah, he's like got some fucking Shadow Clone jutsu, like shit.
You know, I think what ruined... So, like, I'll play as Pokemon Trainer, but Greninja I've never tried because I still have PTSD flashbacks of trying to use Lucario. And Lucario is just trash.
Yeah, Lucario is just garbage.
Everyone hyped him up and he sucked. And so I just don't even try the Pokemons anymore unless you're playing as Pokemon Trainer, but...
Mew's garbage too. Mewtwo.
Yeah, everyone raved about them, and I never liked them.
Like I said, Greninja's the only Pokemon I liked. Beyond that, then I would have to pick, like... There was another Fire Emblem character that wasn't Marth or Roy, but I can't remember who it was.
I always play as the Fire Emblem guy, so this is escaping me.
I know, right? He had a bigger sword. Like, much bigger, like a claymore, but I can't think of his name.
Damn. I've played as him.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. Yeah, the Fire Emblem characters are just great picks.
They are too good, honestly. I think they're so good they don't really belong in Smash in a way because they're like in a league of their own.
Yeah. Also, Villager from Animal Crossing is a phenomenal pick.
I can believe that.
I've gotten some high scores with them. But yeah, Smash is great. It's funny that you bring up your stoner friends and being stoned, because sidebar before we're gonna wrap up, that went quick,
very quick.
It was all that talk about Wawa and the adventure of being at a Wawa.
Go Birds.
This is my sales pitch. Wawa, please sponsor me. I would welcome a sponsorship from Wawa. Everyone tweet this at Wawa, get me sponsored.
I'll talk to my boss. I'll call in a couple of favors.
Also, Wawa, please start making French fries and pierogies. Because the other night...
Or don't. I don't know. We already got a lot of shit going on.
The other night, I wanted hot dogs and pierogies at 10 p.m. It was New Year's Day. No one's open. I come to find that Wawa's apparently open.
All the time.
Days later.
You think we'd be with our fucking families? No.
No, you have to be at Wawa.
Time and a half, baby.
But... I found, I happened to, I guess, be reminded today that Wawa had hot dogs, which I totally forgot. But they don't have pierogies or any sort of potato for that matter, unless it's the morning and they have hash browns. I'm talking like fried potatoes.
Look, man.
Filthy, disgusting fried potatoes.
I agree with you. 110%.
But, yeah.
Weird potato thing. Ever have potatoes O'Brien?
No.
It's like... little hash brown potatoes with like onions and green peppers and red peppers.
Maybe I have had this. I will have to try them sometime.
Banging.
Mike and I, when we did the original Shower Boys of D Block podcast back when I'd been working with Mike for about 6 months, you had been there for about a month.
I don't know if after knowing Mike for like 6 months, I would agree to come over to his apartment or house yet.
And just doing it was one of those things, we hadn't really hit a social stride yet, so it was a very, as I've said, forced and uncomfortable podcast. But we had always talked about doing an episode with you called Wake and Bake with Party Cake. Or having like a special where you're baked and you just come on. So I think that's what this episode's going to be called. I think it's going to be called Wake and Bake with Party Cake.
I love it.
Even though you're
been sober for a hot minute.
It's coming full circle. Episode 2 of season 1 was called The Fool's Circle, and it was about life coming full circle. So we're continuing.
God damn it.
We talked about the Eagles quite a bit, but
Go Birds.
Wawa sponsor me. We're coming full circle into season 2, talking about Wake and Bake with Party Cake. So with that being said, Party Cake, thank you for caffeinating me all afternoon. I am sure I will not be affected by this at all. I will probably go home and pass out the minute I hit my bed.
I'm just trying to keep you awake enough. Gotta do my I don't know, some sort of responsibility.
Yeah. You're being a good host by making sure I'm energized.
We also downed a whole pitcher of cold brew, so I don't think I'm going to sleep anytime soon.
I could probably go to sleep right now if I laid down.
You were also up all night.
Yeah,
so that'll do it for sure.
But yeah, man, this has been fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for letting me come invade your residence.
Thank you for thanking me.
Thank you. Okay. I guess we're going to leave it on that note. Thank you for listening.
No, thank you.
Oh my God.
Thanks for everything, guys.
To my regular viewers and to any new viewers, follow this SoundCloud page. For every 2 weeks, I upload a new episode of the Fueled by Coffee podcast, where I talk with my friends about life and Wawa and video games and football and music. Thank you. So, thank you for letting me come over and do this. Thank you to anyone who's listened and who continues to support what I do. Give me a follow. Wawa, please sponsor me.
Thank you.